we've been sort of mentioning all the punching in New York and everything, right? Mm-hmm. This article that came out
is one of is this crazier than the incel Discord? Potentially, because remember there was that theory, which I don't think is.
Well, I think she thinks that some of that is part of this. Yeah, because she goes men punching random women in NYC, a desperate last gasp of male rage fueling MAGA. This woman is fucking deranged. By the way, I felt like it was up your alley. So it's 100% Jesse Smollett. This is MAGA country.
Crazy.
It's like they've already apprehended a bunch of the dudes who've done it, for starters.
Yeah, I don't think they were big Trump supporters vocally. I don't think that's why they were doing it.
There was the one guy that ran for mayor. There's the crazy Trump guy.
That's true. I don't think he was a Trump guy, though. I think he just ran for mayor. He was Marcus Garvey's grandson. Or
Buddy, you got to see. I'm surprised you didn't look at the last articles that she's did. That's more up your alley.
Other ones? No, I haven't seen what else.
Okay, this is... So the girl that says the punchings...
are MAGA.
The punchings in New York are because of Trump.
Yeah.
She also says, these are the last articles she's done. Trump busts the myth behind the MAGA rich. So she's saying Trump's poor, I guess. Evangelicals won't be bothered by Trump's abortion gambit because they know he's lying. So that's another one. Okay. Men are punching random women in NYC, a desperate last gasp of male rage fueling MAGA. Screw up female brains. MAGA leaders are conditioning fellow Republicans to back birth control bans. She has not written one article yet that's not about Trump. Look at it.
True full TDS.
Evicted, arrested, and being sued by the boss. When will MAGA learn loyalty to Trump ends in sorrow? Donald Trump acts terrified to face a jury. He should be scared. That's a good one. Donald Trump acts terrified to face a jury. He should be scared.
Does this chick work for the DNC or something?
This is Salon. Fake right-wing panic about trans Easter is part of Trump's push for Christian nationalism.
Basically, she only tweets about or writes about Trump or
Laura abortion. Trump's big lie hiring Republicans stick with loser strategy that failed them in 2020 and 22. Trump Bibles make a mockery of Christianity.
They're like all,
and that's exactly why MAGA will eat them up. I think she's like the Trump correspondent. Oh, here's a good one. Trump love. Are you looking at it now?
Well, here's the. I'm looking at it. Her thing. Amanda Marcotte is a senior politics writer at Salon, and the author of Troll Nation: How the Right Became Trump Worshipping Monsters Set on Rat Fucking Liberals, America, and Truth Itself. That is the title of her book. So
it's called a fucking nutcase, dude. Yeah, it's just dude, you have to be so deranged to think that
nutty.
Trump loves to play the victim. That's her newest article.
Yeah.
Trump newly released transcripts reveal a MAGA betrayal. Donald Trump never cared about Ashley Babbitt. Trump's criminal cases are his campaign. Anyways, she only works about Trump. TDS. She's made a career out of TDS. Okay, so
I'm looking her up on Twitter. She has her latest blog post is something about how the Eclipse is like a right-wing thing.
I don't know how she ever gets this approved though. Like you have to be.
I imagine Salon's readership is probably somewhere in the down 95%.
This is like fan fiction.
Yeah,
where you rewrite history with, you're like. You rewrite history and you're like Hitler's the villain and also in Roman times.
Sure, yeah.
You're like, what if Trump was the reason for the punchings as well? He goes, men are punching random women in the streets of New York. As usual, with these kinds of diffuse and chaotic stories, there's much of that is unknown, including how this is happening, how people are involved, whether it's all coordinated. So when you say we don't know if it's all coordinated, there's zero evidence that it's coordinated.
Yeah, there's none.
So you could that's just like the equivalent of being like, there's a lot of punchings. We don't really know who's doing it. We don't know if Joe Biden's punching people personally. You're like, well, we probably know.
It's funny because this chick will call anybody a conspiracy theorist, and you're like, you're a conspiracy theorist. These are conspiracy theories.
Conspiracy theory.
There's a conspiracy of people who are conspiring to punch women.
Yes.
That's a literal definition of conspiracy.
Well, it's so funny saying that you go, we don't know whether it's all coordinated. It's like, By that you could say anything. It's like
course.
we're not really sure if it was just a few people getting punched, or if last night Eric Trump went and punched 9 of them, just took a crack at 9 old ladies himself. Those are things we don't know.
We don't know. We
don't know for sure that he didn't.
No. We might find out at some point.
Is it possible that Donald Trump Jr. teed off on a couple of women?
We don't know that in
yet.
Blackface, just teeing off on them. It's possible.
Those are things we don't know. Those are among the pieces of information we're not sure of.
Plausible.
Just how many people are involved and whether it's all coordinated. Like you actually do kind of have a pretty good.
I'm like, you're currently doing journalism. At least you're pretending to, and then you're positing these crazy things.
You're just insane.
Yeah,
you're
like these should be like your notes. Like these should be like her personal notes when she's like writing her article.
Is there any evidence that it's coordinated?
Yeah, this is a question, and then you go, let's answer this. If no, do not include an article.
I just love the gloomy tone because it's sort of got like a noir.
Yeah.
Women report being assaulted by men of different races and ages, still across a different stories. A couple of similarities pop out. The alleged victims are mostly young and pretty. And
what other similarities are there?
Yeah. And most of them say they were minding their own business when they were attacked. Okay. Well, we think all women are pretty, so that means nothing else. Yeah. Also, she goes, their men are. She goes, they're being assaulted by men of different races and ages. Like, no, they're not.
No, there's no evidence to show that at this point.
No, they're not. Like, it might have been an elderly aged man. Yeah. All different races and ages.
A lot of reports of Asian men.
Yes, from
punching them.
Yeah, a lot of different reports of some of them were being punched by a 90-year-old Australian man. It's like crazy.
Yeah.
Whatever they were doing, they were just living their lives. And that, it seems, is what enraged their assailants.
Sure.
So that's her mind that's what's really pissed these guys off.
Man, that must suck if
they're just living their lives.
If that is what pisses them off, because New York City is just literally probably 4 million women just living their lives every day.
Yeah.
And these guys all day are just like, oh.
So many women living their lives.
Oh, I hate women living their lives.
I think that's why Asians were getting punched too, because they were also living their lives.
Living their lives, yeah.
There's nothing these fucking crazies hate more than just someone living their lives.
Nothing more than these fucking MAGA chuds hate more.
Also,
New Yorkers just living their lives.
The New York crime is like just pissed them off living their life. Same when like you get mugged on the subway. They didn't really need your stuff. It just pissed them off that you were living your life.
You just didn't like it, It's
just laughing out there, and that's what enraged them. And that's why they stole your wallet.
Yeah, it's very plausible.
Whatever the excuse the angry man concoct, the impetus is always the same. The eyes of a woman are directed at something that is not him. So now it's not only that they were living their lives.
They weren't looking at this.
Yeah, it's like they weren't fucking these guys.
I mean, most of them are just like literal mentally ill people.
I would like to get like mugged on the street once and just be like, the guy couldn't handle it. I wasn't sucking him off.
Oh, what? Was I not looking at you enough?
I'm sorry. So now she's saying it's because they didn't smash. So which is it? You know what I mean? Were they happy that were the guys not happy that the girls were living their life, or are they pissed off that the girls were putting their gaze towards them?
Maybe both. Maybe a little bit of both.
I love when you interview the guys. They're like, legitimate crazy.
Yeah, the
people.
guy. You're like, yeah, we interviewed one man. He referred to himself as Jesus Christ.
Let me guess, Jesus, you were mad that she wouldn't fuck you? And the guy's like, what planet are you on?
Yeah, literally does not know where they are. And they're like, yeah.
This is how like SVU would tell a story, by the way. Mm-hmm. Whatever the excuse the angry man concocts, the emphasis is always the same. These stories resonate as well because the nation is having a moment of increasingly unhinged male fury.
Is the nation having this moment? Yes, or is this a pretty localized New York City thing?
But the unhinged male fury hasn't been able to combined to do.
I was gonna say this isn't even all over New York. This is like pretty much exclusively like below 14th Street.
Yeah, it's a very specific area, but the unhinged male fury is only really concentrating there right now.
No. Well, I guess you could have maybe.
So it's sort of pretty hinged, actually.
New York sets the tone for the rest of the country in a lot of ways. So maybe this fad will catch on.
The unhinged male fury fad.
There's punching women.
Increasingly unhinged male fury at women for daring to have.
What are they daring for this time?
For daring to have lives that are centered around something other than catering to a man's every whim.
That's why they're punching them. That's for sure. You cracked it. That is some rock solid journalism right there.
Pretty sure that's what it was.
That's what it is. Couldn't put my finger on it, but that's why all these men independently just started punching women.
Do you think that the two guys, like go and they both were about to punch the girl, and he was like, "What are you doing?" It's like, "Are you here for the same reason I am?" Like unhinged fury that they've dared to live their lives around something catering to another, something other than the man's whim.
Exactly.
Holy shit, that's why I've been punching. Can you nerve these bitches?
They basically like Eiffel Tower her, but with a punch.
This is exactly how SVU fucking was telling stories for a while.
I mean, in Salon's defense, this just might be
comedian.
the only way that they can get people to read their shit is they're just kind of boxed in. Like it just has to be all this nonsense. Like anything like impartial, and people would just be like,
I think this is a girl, the only story she's ever known, man.
Yeah.
She's got to buy into it.
Of course.
It's like when you see the disinformation consultants, you know what I mean? And there's people like experts when they say they're a disinformation expert, and you're like, so what's disinformation? You're like, you don't actually really need me because like whatever like Hillary Clinton says is pretty clear.
Yeah, that's information.
It is funny that the disinformation correspondents like aren't necessary, but I think they help spot disinformation out in the wild.
And then, but they also put like a important person, like an expert. They go, I'm an expert, and they go, see this disinformation expert saying the same thing I'm saying. Therefore, it's true. And you go,
you can be that person to be
like
pointed
authority.
to. Yeah. Okay, so there's the centered around something other than catering to a man's every whim, unleashed by Donald Trump and the MAGA movement. So basically, Trump.
Weird, it took so long though. Yeah,
it's a lot of years.
He's almost back in office. Like he got inaugurated in 2016. Mm-hmm. The punchings didn't start till 8 years later.
The punchings took a while to warm up. Well, at that point they weren't as unhinged. The male fury wasn't as unhinged.
Yeah, maybe they were punching other guys.
Yeah, and also there might not have been as many women daring to live lives,
especially in New York City.
We forgot that there wasn't as many women daring to live lives that centered around something other than catering to a man's every whim.
I think once Sex and the City went off the air, women really stopped.
They stopped daring as much.
Stopped daring to live their lives so much, and then there was like a bit of a period when they felt it was okay again, and
then they became a little more daring.
Yeah, they're very daring.